Hey YouTube, as a lot of you know, the Pokemon Tour Sinnoh Cup was just on in LA. But for the majority of us who never had any opportunity to go there, the global one is coming next week. And so there's an event leading up to it, and there's the event next weekend. So I think it's important to go over these because from a GBL perspective, there's a lot of things that you need to actually focus on in terms of raids, obviously these new legendaries, and some of the wild spawns too. So let's just go over what you need to know about these events. And the importance of like the GBL perspective. So next weekend, February 24th, 25th is when there's the global, right? So it's just a 2-day event, kind of like it was this weekend, 10 to 6. There's special habitats and there's events for that. But before that, there is the road to it. And that takes place this week. So before you get to the global, before it kicks off, there is an opportunity to do what's called the Road to Sinnoh. There's a couple paid tickets, and the thing with the paid tickets is I'm never a fan of paid tickets. And this is the first time I've seen that they've given XL candies for ticketed events, and this is what I'm kind of nervous about going forward. I think there's a couple things that they could really grind people for money. The first is dust, and you can kind of see it in like already with the GBL, like the Go Battle days, where they're like, for X amount of money you get dust and candy and stuff like that, right? The second one is XL, and XL is the biggest issue for the majority of us. And here we go for the Roads to Sinnoh raids for US $5. So again, that's not cheap considering there's multiple tickets in this. But for US 5, you get raids include the following: 10 Dialga candy, 10 Palkia candy, which is like whatever, you can get those pretty easy. But then 5 Heatran, 5 Giratina, 5 Cresselia, 5 Darkrai XL, and then a mask. So it's like, okay, again, if you're doing an in-person raid, the 3 for the in-person plus the 3 guaranteed is already 6. So there's like 5 XL Giratina candy. That's like one raid. So I don't think it's worth it. I'm just like, so you get a couple extra things, like 1 additional candy rewarded for catching Pokemon 5 stars, and then 2 additional raid passes. So you get a couple more raids. So I don't think the XL in itself is worth it, but I'm just worried that like this is a precedent moving forward. And then here's another one, a hatch one for US $5 equivalent. Time research rewards for hatches include Pachirisu, Chatot, and Carnivine. And these are obviously have been 3 regionally locked Pokemon for the majority of time. Carnivine was released at Global Go Fest last year, so probably some people have it. Chatot, I think probably, has that been around? I don't even know. And then Pachirisu, same thing, was a global event. But this is the first time that like a very specific event outside of Global Go Fest will have these worldwide. So you're hiding regional locked Pokemon behind money. Again, precedent, I don't love it, but I get that this is how they're going to make money moving forward when they nerf the remote raid money, right? Plus 2 times hatch candy and Stardust. So wild Pokemon, the starters, again, these starters are fine if you've never had them before. If you had them before, this is obviously not something you're going to go do. The raids, though, are something that you need to consider. Not Darkrai. Darkrai's out right now. If you have it. Cresselia, it's either the Cresselia here or where did I see the thing? I am pretty sure that Cresselia, either through here or through one of the research tickets, you will get a below a 1500 CP Cresselia. And for the majority of people, that is huge, right? A lot of people, if you've played way back in the day when we got these 1500 CP Cresselias, is because they were given as a reward for the 7-day rewards. So you got it under 1500. And I think in raids, so that's why, I'm not sure in raids in general if you can get it, but I saw guaranteed that in one of the tickets, I don't know if it's a free one or one that's paid for, you can get a crest under 1500. So if you don't have that, that's one there. These ones are ever. Heatran and Giratina have been back a million times, but if you need more XL candies and stuff like that, it's a good time to get them. Eggs, Again, I don't really hunt eggs. These 2 kilometers, nothing really excites me here. Mantic, Rylu, if you want to get some like potential PvP ones. Event bonus half for eggs, remote raid pass increase because they want you to do a bunch of remote raid passes and unlocked when you want to do all those. Yeah, so this is the time research. This is where it comes in. The timed research will give you 1 to each of these, and the Cresselia is under 1500. So it looks like it's a free time research. Do the time research for a free Cresselia under 1500 CP. So there is your option to get it. And then new avatar items. So that is just the event leading up to it, right? We haven't even gotten to the event yet. That's just leading up to it. The Dialga and Palkia origin forms have these new effects, right? So they're new Pokemon. And let's just look at the Pokemon themselves, because Palkia with this new move, Palkia Origin with Special Rend, the new move, is now the #1 Pokemon in Master League. So that in itself is interesting. Dialga Origin is at number 20. And here's the thing with this ranking. I don't play Master League at all because they don't have the XLs. However, I know enough to know that Dialga is always undervalued in these rankings compared to how it is there. So is Palkia very strong with this? I'm going to assume so. However, I don't believe that the discrepancy between Palkia at number 1 and Dialga at number 20 is legit. I think PvPoke always underrepresents Dialga in the Master League here. And if you've actually played Master League, you'll know that Dialga is far more prevalent than you would think it is based on its ranking, because it is very, very, very strong. So don't let that like 20 fool you. I already have a Hundo Palkia. So I didn't even look at the rewards, which we'll go over in a sec, but I chose Dialga because I do not have a Hundo Dialga and I want to try and get that. But I think you can raid any of them, so it doesn't really matter. You could potentially get both, but I think, yeah. Anyways, the effects. Roar of Time on Dialga increases, extends the timer in increments of 6 minutes by using more Stardust and Dialga candy. The timer can begin extending up to 2 hours for incense, daily incense, lucky eggs, and star pieces. So I got this one just because I want Dialga, but I think this one is personally for me the better one. And when it comes down to is, it's not me for the incense and daily incense. It's for me the star pieces. Being able to throw a star piece on like league turnover, where you get like that half an hour just star piece on at the end of the season, like to get that for like an extra half hour, potentially longer, is huge. Especially if you like get these like community day 3 times dust, like being able to put on incest and extend it is huge for me. So I think that's worth it from my perspective. Special Rend, or Spatial Rend, I keep calling it special, but it's Spatial Rend. I'm sure someone corrected me already. Basically, this allows the encounters with wild Pokemon to be longer, and it increases the raid distance. So I saw a couple people chose this one, and you can see like the circle is like way, way bigger. So if you are, let's say, in an area where you're not getting a lot of like home spawns, but if you want to extend that radius and you could get home spawns, this may be the better option for you. And again, I don't think it matters in the long run which one you do. In terms of trainer battles, if you want to see an obvious reason why Palkia is number 1 and Dialga is much, much lower, same. Roar of Time is a 150 power move, and Spatial Rend is a 95. And again, you don't see the energy, how much energy it takes there, but just based on power alone, the thing with Dialga, they're both like Dragon Breath users, so it takes a little longer to get to the charge move, and both are running Draco Meteor. So if you now have what is going to be a quicker charge move on Palkia that still does 95 plus stab damage, that is probably way, way better than Roar Time, which is probably still just another longer like Draco Meteor nuke type thing. So I think from that perspective, just looking at it again, I don't know what the actual, maybe they're in PvPoke already. Let's see if they're in PvPoke. Maybe they were data mined, but maybe it's not in yet. Okay, Spatial Rend. Here we go. 50 energy for 1.9. So that makes sense. Just to compare, let me just put up all these. Draco Meteor, and the other one is Roar of Time. And this is exactly what I expected, and this is exactly why I think this move benefits Palkia. So Roar of Time and Draco Meteor are mirrors, except you don't lower your attack by 2. So direct upgrade for Dialga. You have the same Draco Meteor nuke without lowering your attack. So being able to nuke, not lower your attack with Dialga, which is very tanky, super strong. Not surprising, you get a lower damage per energy, but that's not the issue. It's a 15 energy less move for 95 damage. So add stab onto that, you're well over 2 damage per energy for a 50 turn move in the Master League. So that is, I think, where the special, like where the domination comes into play on Palkia there. So if you're looking just from a straight GBL perspective, I think this is 100% more of an upgrade to Palkia, but I do think that, again, I think that Dialga is underrepresented on the rankings there. Okay, so that is the origin form, and let's get into the actual event. So I think the main thing that people are going to focus on are these raids. However, there are some spawns outside of the raids. Again, well, I just kind of went over those. There are some spawns. There's 4 habitats: bustling, ancient, toxic, and geothermal. So again, it's like Global Go Fest. So 10, 11, 12, 1, and then they repeat 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a couple chances to get them. Looking at the main habitats here, there, on first glance of all these, there wasn't a ton that I was like, oh, I got to get this, right? A lot of this stuff, like, this is actually quite a bad, like, vault if you don't have, like, a Gardevoir for, like, raids for the Master League. But other than that, like, this is just a straight garbage one. This is, like, prime rating. Like, I wouldn't want to do this. The 11 o'clock, Hussein Growlithe, maybe if you don't have a lot of those. But again, like, this right now, there's nothing on this list that caught Combi for just a dust perspective. A lot of these are getting new shinies, and I think that is probably going to be the majority of this event. Again, I look at this one, I'm like, there's a lot on this list that is good, but I already have everything. But if you don't have a Gligar, if you don't have a Cranidos for raids, if you don't have a Skunk for maybe Ultra League, if you don't have Gible for Master League, if you don't have Scroopy for Great League or Ultra League, if you don't have Krogunk for Great League and probably Ultra League too, like, there are options here in this one for sure, the Toxic, of Pokemon that you can use in GBL. So this is the first one I've actually looked at that has a GBL component to it. And then this last one, right off the bat, the Husian's Quillfish and Sneasel and Lickitung, and then Rhyhorn for Master League or raids most likely, and then the rest of them are garbage here. But these ones off the top here are not bad either for GBL. So if I'm focusing on raids, it's probably within the first couple hours with this Bustling and Ancient. And then if I'm focused on GBL for Toxic and Geothermal, I think those are where you're going to get your bang for your buck. Does this change? No. Just the different unknowns if you care about those. Eggs, again, it looks like same old, and that's it. So all in all, what am I focusing on this event for, and what should you focus on? I think there's really only 2-3 things that you need to focus on. I think trying to get as much Dialga and Palkia candies, XLs, and potentially hundos you can get, right? I think that is what you want on this. And then from a GBL perspective, the Cresselia, if you don't have a 1500 CP, getting the 1500 CP Cresselia from the tasks, I think is important. GBL perspective from here, again, Toxic and Geothermal. Yeah, there's a few in here if you don't have them. Would be nice to hunt. And then for most of you who are shiny hunters, I am not. I see a Twinkle 3-star shiny beside pretty much every, except Fenyan. every single Pokemon here. Every single Pokemon here. Yep, every single Pokemon and every single Pokemon. And again, the majority of the stuff that I saw online today were just like the raids, Palkia and Dialga raids, and the shinies that people got. So I think that is probably that I think is the main thing that people are going to do this weekend. I don't know how I'm going to play this. I got invited to a couple raids today, which I joined. Again, I don't get access to the moves, but I did just want to do for the Dialga and Palkia candy. So I did a couple of those. I'm level 50, and it seemed like we took down the Palkia with 4 people and Dialga with 5 people very, very easily. And let me actually just see while we're here, because it seemed like it was easier than it would be. And I want to check stat products because it seemed like it was easy. So 252 attack, 199, 171 for 8650 for the origin, 8650. And where's the other one? 8650. Okay, so they do have different stat products. And this one actually has a higher stat product than, like the origin has a higher stat product than that. 193, 171, 89, 192. Okay, so you got a higher stat product for Dialga, and I'm guessing, or for Palkia, and I'm guessing it's the same for Dialga. 239, 201, 184 for 88, 87. And yeah, lower defense and stuff for 8,500. So they're actually, I guess you only probably need 4 or 5 people probably to take down each of those. Again, that's easier said than done. The good news is the remote raid are open. It still costs people the extra money to get them. I have been sitting on my remote raid passes for months now. I have not used them, and I used 2 of them today. And I think that this event is probably one where people who are sitting on their remote raid passes will more likely use them than just sitting on them, because there's not a ton that's coming up, or maybe there is, but there's probably not a ton coming up that you need your remote raid passes for. And new Dialga Origin and Palkia Origin are 2 pretty good ones to probably use them on. So don't be afraid to like try and reach out to your friends, and I'll probably, if I'm out, send some raids to people if you're online and you're on my friend list. So that is it. Yeah, I want to do this today. I was going to showcase a person's legend run, but I checked too late. I checked at like 8 o'clock. I'm doing this video at 8 o'clock at night, and I checked at 8 o'clock at night to see if they're to do their battles, and I realized I do not have access to the file. So I probably hopefully do those tomorrow. And again, I don't have any of my other own videos, so if you want to submit it, link in the description. Otherwise, we're just going to do like one-offs like this for the entire week. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.